Hey book readers, I've been called a lot of things by a lot of different people, most of which I can't repeat. But one thing that I'm correctly labeled as is a dad, a parent, to two cute little girls. And I love reading books with them, even if I have to read the same books a million times because those are their favorites. So today I'm sharing a handful of children's board books with beautiful art and engaging stories. A Sick Day for Amos McGee by Philip C. Stead. This is a story about a zookeeper, Amos McGee, who wakes up every day and goes to the zoo and has fun and does activities with the animals. He plays chess with the elephant and runs races with the tortoise. And then one day he wakes up sick, and so the animals go to visit him at his house instead of him coming to the zoo. They wait for the bus and they get on it. And they try to do all the same things that he does with them at his house, but he's a little sick, so it's a little tough for him to actually do everything that they want to do. In the end, they all share a cup of tea, and they go to sleep, and they'll wake up tomorrow feeling better and ready to go back to the zoo. I like it just because of the beautiful hand illustrations that it has, and it's nice to have all these different animals that your kids will get to learn the names of if they're young enough, and then also the sounds that they make, of course. Giraffes Can't Dance by Giles Andre. This book features the giraffe named Gerald who goes to a dance in Africa where everyone else is able to dance really well, but he can't. He's got too long of legs and he's just kind of awkward and silly. And all the animals are dancing, and when he tries, they all just kind of make fun of him. And so he goes and finds a little cricket who tells him, hey, anybody can dance if you find the right music and you just get outside yourself and go for it. And so Gerald just starts listening to all the music of the trees and the wind, and he starts becoming a really good dancer, and finally he gets to show off his dance moves for all the other animals in Africa, and they just can't believe how good of a dancer he became. And it's just a fun, really bright, colorful book, again with lots of animals that your kids can point to. My daughter loves to point at the monkeys, find the monkeys on every page. Where's the monkey? There's the monkey. So we do that over and over and over again. Wherever You Go by Pat Zietlow Miller. This one features a bunny and an owl who go on a trip basically around the world, different modes of transportation, bikes and trains and buses. They're just kind of exploring their surroundings. Similar to the other books, it's fun to just kind of, it's almost like Where's Waldo? You're pointing and finding where the tiny little bunny is on the page or the tiny little owl. And it just talks about all these roads that take you different places in your life, and we follow the bunny as he goes on this little adventure, and eventually they come all the way back home after seeing all their friends and realize that home is a great place to come home to as well. Really fun place to be. Again, just beautiful illustrations, more subdued colors, but similar to those other ones, my daughter just has a blast looking at the different animals, pointing to them, point at the cars and the bikes, the different modes of transportation. So it's good for learning and teaching things as well. The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats. Now this one is perfect in summertime when you live in Texas like I do and the temperatures are constantly over 100 degrees. It's about this little boy Peter who wakes up and it's snowing, and he goes outside and he has all kinds of different fun activities he does. He makes snow angels and sees his tracks in the snow, finds a stick and drags it along, and whacks a tree and the snow falls on him, and he makes snowballs and goes down a hill and has snowball fights, and he eventually puts a snowball in his pocket, comes inside, has a bath, warms up, and goes to bed. And of course he's thinking that it's going to be warm and sunny the next day and the snow's going to be gone, but fortunately it's still snowing and he's going to go back out. Like I said, I live in Texas, and this one is good to read to show my daughter that the thing known as snow does actually exist. We don't just have this giant sun that's baking us, cooking us all day, every day. And it's a classic one. I think it's from a while ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, from 1962. So, a classic board book that you can show to your kids. Kitten's First Full Moon by Kevin Hanks. Now in this one, Kitten is searching for a big bowl of milk. She really wants that big bowl of milk in the sky, which also just so happens to be the moon. So she keeps chasing the moon, this bowl of milk, and it gets her into lots of trouble. She jumps and falls downstairs. She runs around and goes up trees and falls into the pond and gets wet, and she's miserable and she's so hungry, and poor kitten, she just can't catch a break, and so she eventually gives up on getting that big bowl of milk in the sky that she just can't seem to ever reach. She walks back and, oh, there's a bowl of milk on the porch waiting just for her. Oh, lucky kitten. She laps it all up and she takes a nap and she's happy to find it. My daughter and I like this one just because we get to say, poor kitten, over and over again. She's just having a rough time. But then eventually she gets what she's been working so hard to find, and she gets that bowl of milk that's just waiting for her. All the World by Liz Garton Scanlon. Another book with gorgeous illustrations. This is a rhyming book where cast of characters kind of repeats itself across the pages in different settings of the beach, and there's a farmer's market, and they're climbing trees, and there's a rainstorm, and you see people in a cafe. There are different families. There are babies on the pages. My goodness, my little girl loves to point out where the babies are, and we have to find the babies. And oh, there's a red truck, and it's fun to see as the pages go along these different characters doing different things, and you get to see their little stories unfold. And eventually, it's a deep little meaning of just the world is all of us, and we're all in it together, and family is important, and there's so much to look forward to. And yeah, like I said, just gorgeous illustrations again, and a fun, neat little rhyming book. Changes things up a bit. And last but not least, there's If Animals Kissed Goodnight by Anne Whitford Paul. This is another animal book. I guess we just can't get enough animal books in our house. And it has different baby and mommy or daddy animals who are kissing goodnight in their own ways. Whether Mama Python and her hatchling are just twirling and twisting around each other, or the parrots are clacking their beaks together. And the joke of the whole thing is that there are some sloths kissing, and if we kiss like animals kiss goodnight, oh, the sun would be gone, but Sloth and her cub would still be kissing goodnight. So my daughter loves the sloth pages and loves to say, still kissing goodnight. You have seals and penguins sliding and kissing, and kangaroos hopping around, jumping and kissing, and it's just a cute little book that at the end you see this little girl who has all these stuffed animals in her bed, and she's just dreaming, and all these animals are in her dreams. And then, of course, very last page, even though you finish it, Sloth and her cub are still kissing goodnight. Fun little book, again, lots of animals. It has bright colors that really grab your attention, and different animals and the actions that they do, helping your kids learn the words for that and the noises that they make, that type of thing. There you have it, 7 board books that I love as much as my toddler. Or I guess I should say, I enjoy them as much as my toddler does. Hopefully I don't love them equally to the amount I love her. Anyway, remember to like and subscribe. Happy reading.